This is Grace Court in Lansdowne, 550 South Lansdowne Avenue. I'm doing a little roof inspection here, and it's a U-shaped building with gable roofing, shingles. The main slopes are about a 5/12 pitch. And what we have on this roof is one layer of shingles, which is 25 years old, according to the maintenance director. And if we look underneath here, you see there is just one layer on here. And in checking down at the eaves, I saw only one layer as well, plus there is what appears to be ice and water shield. When we look at this roof, you got a ridge vent at the ridge. It's got numerous roof louvers, these brown things, placed throughout the roof. And when we look at this, this is like a split offset right here. This is the Lansdowne Avenue is out here, and it's U-shaped, goes around and this way. When we look right here, these little offsets, you see little blistering down in here on this roof, on this area of the roof. And I think you can probably see it better from this direction. It's not super serious, but there's blistering in here that indicates the roof is getting brittle. And this blistering probably comes about because this little rise here, this area may have frost longer than other areas, and then it impacts the shingles over 25 years. It just kind of beats them up, as I say, just in this area. Now, you have a drive-it system here, and the drive-it goes right down into the roof. There's no dedicated flashing system in here. The drive-it is acting as the counter flashing, which means when you go to do this roof, you're going to have to fish these shingles out and try to reuse the step flashings that are used on each course. Step flashings go up or across underneath this shingle, and then it goes up behind the drive-it. And these step flashings overlap each successive course so that it can shed water in here without ever leaking. Now, you can see what's happening here. You're getting like debris that grows in here, organic debris, and that kind of rots down and starts to sustain plant life, and pretty soon you got a mess in here. And that's what you got going on here. You got, you know, a fair amount of moss and stuff growing in here. And what happens is that starts to clog up the runoff, and then water dams up, and the next thing you know, you've got a problem with water finding its way into the building because it couldn't escape normally because of the debris. So I don't think you're there yet, but it's getting close. I think you might get lucky and just leave this alone until it's time to re-roof. You're going to have to re-roof this probably in the next 5 years, somewhere in there. I say that because I see cracking in other areas, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you know, certainly there's nothing urgent to do right now in terms of complete re-roofing, but there are some hot spots here, and there are some indications of problems. One of the things I see is this roof is cupped down at the eave. The last shingle goes up quite a bit. This one right here goes up. So you have, now the reason that's up is because when they hung the gutter, they pushed it up, or the fascia wasn't married correctly with the roof elevation, whatever. You have this cupping going on here, and it's a good thing there is ice and water shield under here, because the ice and water shield serves to protect from backing up water, which is exactly what this will do to you. So that's a little bit of a problem. You know, whenever you do the roof, you're going to have to try to correct that so that you don't have that problem. Now, the gutters are 6-inch K. They look to be healthy, and whoever put it up put the hangers at a reasonably respectable distance. They're not like 4 or 5 feet apart. They're 2 to 3 feet apart, maybe closer to 2 feet, which is good. You can see down here, this is a bad design where this drive it terminates at the gutter. Water that's coming down here, there should be a flashing right in here that it allows water as it comes down, instead of running in and behind that drive it, to be channeled out into the gutter, down into the gutter. So you can see that that's starting to stain, and you know, I don't know if that's getting into the living space, but it's getting somewhere. It shouldn't. You know, it just hasn't shown up on the inside yet. Now the cracking I'm talking about seems to be on the south slope, and this is the south slope. You know, our sun travels, I guess, this way. And you can see it on this roof here. You can see, excuse me, you can see cracking vertical coming down here throughout the field of the roof. And that tells you that these shingles are getting tired. They are getting tired. You have it down here at the eave. It gets a little bit worse because the ventilation system isn't as fluid down here at the very edge, and it tends to heat up down here, I guess. For some reason, the first 4 or 5 courses are cracked pretty good. If you look at it, you can see the contrast in these shingles versus these shingles. As soon as we get up past 3 or 4 feet, the cracking isn't quite as severe. And that seems to be consistent around the building. You see down here, excuse me, you even have some horizontal cracking going on. You can see there's a connected dots, kind of a line that's coming right through that whole course. It's running horizontally. Now, before I leave this area, there's one other thing I noticed that should be dealt with, and that is there's a missing piece of flashing over here. You never think to look over here, but here it is.